Before we dive into this week's episode reviewing She-Hulk Episode 2, just want to let you know that we've had some issues with the online platform we use to record our podcast that resulted, unfortunately, in some issues with the audio files themselves. So we did the best that we could to salvage the audio and make it somewhat listenable so that you can still hear the great discussion featuring our guest for this week. We hope to have the issue resolved fairly soon, so be sure to check out the rest of the episodes as we continue reviewing She-Hulk by subscribing to the podcast wherever you're listening. Three is a perfect number. We heard about how great of a number it is back in December when we were graced with not one, but two, but three incredible, amazing, fantastic, and might I say spectacular Spider-Men. But that's not what we're here to talk about this time. What we're here to talk about is episode 3 of She-Hulk. The episode that seems to be what I'm going to refer to later, more on it, why I'm about to call it, The Last Jedi of the MCU. But before we get to that, this is Earth 894. This is a Marvel Cinematic Universe podcast where we talk about all the great things in the MCU in our timeline, might I say multiverse. News, reviews, commentary, we've got it all, especially She-Hulk this past month and a half. I'd be remiss if I wasn't going to tell you about who our special guest for the episode is before I mention that, of course, the man who's so ecstatic after what happened in episode 2, because what he preaches is happening. Welcome me and joining my established co-host. And yes, I'm dragging this out just because I know he loves when I do it. Not really. It's Louis Tonarini, everybody.
Body yaddy 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 yaddy. Body yaddy 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 yaddy.
I do it. I do it, man.
I told you that song was gonna play. I told you, and it did.
Did you did you say that when we were recording, or did you tell me that off recording?
Last week when you were doing some news. You're doing the news.
So it's on file.
Megan Thee Stallion's gonna be in the MCU, and then you were trying to figure out who she was gonna play. Oh, she's just in She-Hulk. And then you and Brian, the two old dads, you're like, I don't know any Megan Thee Stallion songs. Brr. And I was like, body yaddy 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 yaddy. Of course, that's the song they twerk to. So
in my defense, I did not realize that she was one of the writers, performers behind WAP. And I remember when that was out there. I did not know that was Megan Thee Stallion. Or excuse me, Megan Thee Stallion, like Ohio or the Ohio State.
Yeah, Megan Thee Stallion. Absolutely. She's the best.
Awesome. Well,
is she? No, but still.
We'll talk about it later. But speaking of stallions, that's not a transition. I have it all. No, but someone who's gonna just blow you away this episode because he's got the high energy. That's just, we're so ecstatic to have him. All the way from up north, not Wisconsin, not even Michigan in the Upper Peninsula. No, we're talking about good old Canada, eh? And to celebrate, he's wearing a shirt that really shows someone who loves Canadians, and that's good old Kevin Smith. Coming from the Two Sides of the Story podcast, for the first time on Earth 894, it's Tom Sides.
How's it going, guys? Happy to be here.
How you doing?
I don't have that kind of like Megan Thee Stallion off the top of my head for an entrance. Fuck that. I can't even top that.
It happens.
I don't know, man.
You just start clapping.
I guess the real question is, Tom, can you twerk?
No.
Okay, well then I think that was the only. You look like you're about to say yes for a second. That hesitation, like, what if I say yes?
It's a very strong no. I was gonna lie to you, but this is a new friendship, and I didn't want to start things off with a lie.
Tom, you seem like a very nice guy.
Just wait. We'll talk some episode 3 of She-Hulk, and then we're gonna just be bonded forever.
Oh man, that's awesome. And also, I wanted to say, I like your shirt a lot.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah,
it's a part of that Kevin Smith club. So
you're in the club. Nice.
Yeah, not to plug, an already established podcaster stuff, but yeah, no, I joined that Kevin Smith club, and it's one of the perks from the show.
Nice, man.
Or from the club.
Are you stoked for Clerks 3?
I am so stoked for Clerks 3.
Nice.
Kevin Smith could take a piss in the snow and I'd be glorified by it. If we're gonna be on this kind of tangent, I got to meet him once, and he's a fucking sweetheart of a human being.
Oh my god, I want to meet him so bad. We saw him at close by at a con recently. Him and Jay Muse and the rest of the clerks class were there, but just sold out. Didn't have the chance.
They were hidden. They were in a tent.
Yeah.
Come on, why are you in a tent?
I got to meet him backstage at a show in Edmonton, Alberta.
Wow.
He did Hollywood Babylon there.
Oh.
And because I was like a Garmy member for Ralph Garman, I was So he calls his fans if you're a 4-star Garmy member. And I was on the phone with him. I was like, yeah, no, I'm in Edmonton. I'm a big fan. He goes like, we're going to be in Edmonton soon. I was like, I already bought tickets. I'm excited. He goes, well, come meet us after the show then. I'm like, yes, please. And then they gave you your time. I told Kevin Smith a nice little heartfelt story about what he's meant to me over the years, and he gave me a big hug. They really gave you the time, and then they said "fuck you" to my friend over video for me, so it was good.
I love how I just close off they were so great. They're so heartfelt. Give me a hug. It was such a warm embrace, and they told my friend to go fuck himself on my phone.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
one of my fondest memories. You can't beat that.
Oh, that is so cool. And I am so jelly, but that is so great to hear, man. I mean, honestly, Kevin Smith is partially why I got into podcasting more seriously to actually pursue it, because Fat Man Beyond, back when it was Fat Man on Batman with him and Mark Bernardin, that's what I was really like, oh, I know what, I think I really like podcasts, and then just kind of explored. So awesome.
Oh, man. He was my door that opened for me as well. And then also Big Two Bears, One Cave. I pick and choose my Rogan. There's some great shows out there.
Certain Rogan.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. Well, that's tangent number 1, guys. If you're keeping tally at home, it's gonna keep on rolling.
Just wait.
So I joined in a little bit late. Are you wearing the hat pandering to us in Chicago, or?
As much as I would love to say that this is pandering, I am a giant Bears fan. As a boy growing up in Canada, we don't have the NFL, we have the CFL, which is slightly different, but I grew up a Bears fan. My dad was a Ditka man, and I was raised the same way.
So you're appointment too.
Oh, God, do I ever. I'm a glutton for punishment. Gotcha. Every year. Every time I buy a jersey, that player goes away. I had an Urlacher jersey, he retired. And a Darius Peppers jersey, he's a Greenfield Packer. I now have a Khalil Mack jersey. I don't want to talk about it anymore. I'm just done buying jerseys.
Stop buying jerseys, man.
Yeah, I know.
That's funny. Awesome, man.
It's your fault we suck.
No, we just want to hold on to the defense. Don't buy jerseys, man.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So I know we're going to get into some more tangents here in just a second, because we have to warm up, if we need it anymore, one of our favorite segments, and fan favorite segments, if I might add. Thank you. This is the part where we like to talk about what's been going on with each other's weekends, lives, whatever that has to pertain to Marvel. What makes it marvelous? Did you read a comic book for the first time? Did you watch a movie for the billionth time? Or did you buy something that you probably shouldn't have, but you're so glad you have it? So without further ado, let's kick it off and hear Louis say,
MCU for you.
Oh, Louis. I love that you did that so much. And I just made that without your permission. So, But
royalties.
Yep, I'll give you a good old nickel when we finally hit. I don't know, Louis. But what I want to do is actually hear a penny for your thoughts. What's been MCU for you, man?
Oh, today, the day we're recording, I went to the Bristol Renaissance Fair in Bristol, Wisconsin. I wore a Loki shirt. There's a bunch of people walking around dressed up as knights and Harley Quinn, and there was one guy I saw with the full Loki horns and everything. And we had a good time. There's a show there. It's called the Adam Crack Fire Whip Show, starring Adam Crack. And what he does is he's got 2 whips, or whatever. He hula hoops. He plays the harmonica. He whips around and breaking sound barriers. So light the whips on fire, do the whole thing. So he says, here, I'm gonna play you guys a song. And he's using the 2 whips, and it's like bum 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 bum. He goes, I take requests. Any requests? And me thinking, we're a bunch of dumb white guys at a Renaissance fair, thought everyone was going to start screaming at him. So I yelled really loud, "Bird!" I was the only person.
My mom, when I went to the Bristol Renaissance Fair years ago, like 2016, the first and only time, my mom at the exact same show yelled "Freebird," and he was like, "Freebird?"
Yeah. He said, "Keep like, drinking, sir. Keep drinking."
Oh, he went, "Freebird? Okay." And he went, exact same sound he does, like the bit, like done. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was the only person that yelled anything. And so he looked at me and said, "Keep drinking, sir. Here's Freebird for a lack of anything better." And then he did the exact same song, like you said. And he did a little bit more of a show, and he kept pointing at me. He goes, "Freebird guy." And I said, "Woo!" I'm going, losing my mind. And you, Devin, that I can control a crowd pretty well if I'm given the center of attention. And he goes, "You know what, man? If you're gonna keep keep yelling and screaming, I'm gonna bring you up here." And he brought me up on stage, and he called me the fanny pack guy because I had a fanny pack on, and he was really nice. And he said, he's like doing the thing, and I'm pumping the crowd up. Everyone's losing their damn minds. It was awesome. And he noted, like, I lifted my arms up, and since I'm the fattest man alive, my shirt came up a little bit. And under my shirt, I was wearing what's like red and white striped Under Armour. And he says, "What's going on under here?" And he lifted it up with one of his whips. Off, and I pulled my whole shirt off, and I got the Captain America Under Armour going. And the whole crowd loses their damn minds. I'm posing and shit. And this guy's like, "What the fuck? My show just got hijacked by this fat guy in a Captain America suit." But yeah, that was funny. So
nice, MCU,
man. Captain America. Long story. Okay, so he does this stuff, right? He does the whole show, and he does whips around me, and then he makes me do this thing where he puts toilet paper in my pocket. He says, "Now I need you to squat." So I squatted, and he whipped each sheet of toilet paper out of my back pocket without touching me at all. It was awesome. And then he says, "I'm gonna play you out, Louie. Here's some more music." And he starts playing. He goes, "I need you to dance." And I channeled my inner She-Hulk, and I twerked in front of every person that was sitting around me, and they all lost their damn minds. And it was awesome. There's video of it on Facebook.
I need that fucking video now.
Oh, it's on there.
Link, please. You also should not have told me that, because am I going to do something with it?
That's fine. I dropped the ball. I told my lovely wife on the way home, I said, "I should have done the worm." Could you imagine?
Nope. This is better. Nope. This is better.
Fucking minds.
This is 100% better.
And through the rest of the day, I was just walking around, and girls with their outfits on, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Walking around, they're like, "Louie," and I'd be like, like, how do I know this? And then I'd have to remember that I was acting a damn fool in the middle of this show. I'd be like, with my wife and my aunt, my uncle, and all them, we had a fucking blast. It's great.
Did you have your kids with you?
Yeah, that was a decision that was made.
So you're saving up for therapy now, or?
They didn't watch. My daughter's only 11 months, and my son didn't give a damn. So.
That's amazing. I love that story so much.
Oh my God, that is awesome. And a little fun fact. Oh, I'm sorry. Were you gonna say, Tom?
Well, no, I was just like, I'm glad you went with the twerking. As a man who's attempted to do the worm as a fellow big fella, it's not as visually stunning as you want it to be.
I do a perfect worm.
Okay. I want more video of this stuff.
I think I've seen you do the worm before too, even years ago.
It's like, if I go to a wedding, everyone loves the worm. I have to do it at least once per wedding. It hurts my knees so much, but I can do it backwards. I can do it forwards, and everybody's so shocked because I'm, like I said, I'm the fattest man alive. They love it.
Jeez,
oh my
God! I want
to
party with you, Louie.
Another reason to come down to Chicago, right, Tom? That's a selling point. Oh man. So one thing I want to mention though, so everyone's seen Loki and they still make tons of merchandise of it. It seems like they have another pop figure of President Loki coming out. This is exclusive. If you haven't seen that, Louis, I'm sorry. But I bring it up because at one episode in the season, they go to Renaissance Fair, and that's the Renaissance Fair Louis was just at.
Milwaukee. They put Milwaukee on there. It's not Milwaukee. It's in Bristol, damn it.
Why they didn't do the exact one, I don't know, but literally that's the Renaissance Fair. So we're awesome. Like an hour
I just
away.
rewatched Loki too. That's very fortuitous. Much like Adam Crack having the name Crack as his last name, and he's also an expert with whips. That's just fortuitous.
Right. It's like that name is made for him.
Exactly. It's good on his parents.
Awesome. So that is one hell of a story. I'll just put it at that. So let's go on and talk about some more stories here with Tom. Tell us, what has been MCU for you, my man?
I don't know if I have anything marvelous. I'm just coming off like a big family weekend. I love to give my mother a shout out because it was her birthday weekend. We celebrated at my aunt's cottage.
Shout out Tom's mom.
Thank you very much. And like the whole time was just like, you should all be watching She-Hulk. It's like Ally McBeal, but with like superheroes, and it's awesome. And so there was that, and got to introduce the girlfriend to the family for the first time, swim in a lake. Fuck, it was wonderful.
Nice, man.
But yeah, it's just so yeah, there's always a little bit of Marvel wherever I go, or like it's always like sales pitch. I'm like, you should just join me in what is awesome about the MCU. There's something in there for everybody. Please hop on board with me.
There you go. Drink the Kool-Aid, one of us.
Yeah, exactly. But no, I got nothing awesome like twerking at the Bristol Renaissance Fair. It was just more of like heavy drinking by a lake and just enjoying myself.
Nice, man. That's good.
Yeah.
Now I gotta ask. You said, did I hear correctly? You said introduce the fam to the girlfriend first time.
Yeah, for the first time.
Nice.
So like, I'm not from Halifax. I'm from Montreal originally. So like, my family's a little bit scattered. So when we do these big family events, and be like, here's the new person in my life.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So we've been together like 3 months now, going strong. She's still tolerating me, so it's pretty good.
So the reason why I asked to elaborate a little bit on it, because I always find this part to be a little fascinating. Is she a fan of the MCU? Is she not?
Not at all. She's not even a fan of movies, man. I don't even know what I'm doing. She watches a movie and then like falls asleep. We have like other things in common, but like this is a huge one.
Wow. Now
what's disappointment?
Yeah. It goes with being a Bears fan.
So what's the plan here? So are you going to introduce her to anything Marvel related to get into that, and like that's a part of your life, or is it going to be?
Like I'm gonna have to trick her at some point. Like there's gonna be a moment of time where I'm just watching something, and she's just gonna happen to join me. And whether she stays conscious during it is up to her. But I'm hoping to win her over with like maybe Guardians of the Galaxy.
Guardians of the Galaxy. That's what I was just about to say.
Yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy is the one that gets everybody. It has something for everybody in that movie. But now, like, yeah, but I'm thinking like She-Hulk, because it's more of like a lawyer show than it is. Like you can relate it to something, and she likes some law shows. That's beautiful, Louis. I love that. But because of that, I feel like I can sneak in. So maybe like you can watch this with me and see what happens.
That's a good point. And you just made me think about something too. We haven't had anything that's really murder mystery in Marvel, right?
No, we haven't.
It's because I swear, man, like, and I'm really hope this doesn't come off as like sexist or anything, but like a lot of women really love murder mystery shows and podcasts. And so I'm saying if that's like a way to kind of get like a different kind of like crowd and people who haven't really gotten into the MCU at this point at all, you have something murder mystery with superheroes related. Now that would be
just
cool.
Just out of curiosity, what hero would you go with to solve the murder mystery?
I know. I was just trying to think about that at the same time. And my comic knowledge to try and push something deep from a deep cut, I don't really know. Yeah. It had to be someone like noir related. So I almost think it's like
Black Noir.
Oh, no. You have it. It's Spider-Man Noir. We haven't, like, in a multiverse, we get our own Spider-Man Noir. You get Nick Cage back on the scene. I'm all for it.
I like drinking egg creams and punching Nazis.
Wherever I go, the wind smells like rain.
Then the wind follows.
Yeah,
he's the best.
Heck yeah, man! Awesome. Cool. Nice. Anything else you got, Tom?
No, that's all I got for the MCU for you right now. I'll be better next time.
No, you are fine. You are fine. This is one of those questions that there's absolutely no wrong answer unless you start talking about DC, because then you got something wrong. If you're a fan of disappointment.
Well, you know me, I'm a glutton for punishment. Bears fan. I'm dating a girl that doesn't like the MCU. Here I are, just setting myself up for failure.
Nah. And I kid about the DC. Louis already giving me a nasty look like I just farted. I promise.
Huge Ezra Miller Flash fan. I can't wait for that movie to come out.
Oh, man.
I love the flailing arms as he runs.
Yes, exactly. That is the dumbest fucking run ever. I'm sorry. Okay. I'm not going to make that a side point because it's not going to turn out well. So what I'm going to talk about a little bit is what's been MCU for me. I have finally, along with Alyssa, we have started watching the final season of Daredevil. Now that we know that he's going to be showing up at some point in She-Hulk, spoilers. I actually we need to actually know the story of what happens. Right? Wait, Lou, you did know that, right?
That's something I missed. I didn't do the final season of Daredevil or Jessica Jones.
I've never watched Jessica Jones.
The first season of Jessica Jones was amazing.
Very good.
I'm already disappointing Louis over here. The friendship's on the rocks right now, guys.
That's okay. I've never watched Star Wars.
That's okay. I forgive you.
I forgive you too. Nobody watched Daredevil.
Well,
Daredevil's good.
I watched the first 2 seasons, and man, I thought D'Onofrio should have gotten all of the awards for his take on Wilson Fisk. That was acting. When he smashes that dude and his head in the car door and said, "You embarrassed me in front of her." Dude, acting 101 right there. Take notes.
He's scary.
D'Onofrio's a badass.
He's awesome. I've heard he's a very nice man too in person. Yeah. He's a very gentle giant.
Oh, for sure. He's come a long way since Men in Black.
And Full Metal Jacket.
Yes, Full Metal Jacket.
I did not realize that was the same guy until I started cruising his IMDb, and I was like, holy shit. Yeah, dude. Well, I think honestly that you're not alone though. Because my issue with a lot of those Netflix shows is that the first one I ever watched was actually first season of Luke Cage, and I was like, oh man, this is so good. I want to immediately go into season 2. Started watching the first episode, and I was like, yo, what? Why is this so different? What happened to this character's what? And then I realized all this stuff with Defenders and stuff. I was like, okay, watching a 2-hour movie. I know, but my thing is it's a little bit easier to kind of catch up and fill in the blanks on stuff you missed when it's movies, because that's a couple hours versus when you have an entire season and even multiple seasons of different shows, and each episode is an hour long. That's a lot more to put in just to get into that next season of the character you're enjoying.
So that's why I gave up on the DC shows.
Yeah.
You miss one of the spinoffs and you miss one of the 5-part episodes. You have no idea what's going on anymore. You're like, you know what?
Yeah, it's
Flash
not easy.
is gonna run, and you're just gonna let him run.
It's like comics. They're notorious. How many times I've looked up just to try and read a cool little story. It's you need to get these 2 issues of this one, and then an issue of that, and then an issue of this, and then that. I'm like, why can't it just be the same fucking thing? But
you need a linear story.
Exactly.
I didn't mind that when the Civil War graphic novels, though.
Yeah, we have we use Marvel Limited, and they made it so much easier to read those big events and stuff. The entire reading list is already picked out for you, or else I would not have been able to do that on my own. Especially for a lot of Spider-Man stuff, even One More Day, when I read that, and that was all kind of jumbled all over the place. Woo!
Yeah,
good stuff.
Yeah, you need those apps.
Heck yeah. I feel like there's something else I was going to bring up, but you know what? It's besides the point. Yeah, I'll remember later. Probably not. So, in the essence of talking about She-Hulk, we're totally going to skip news because there's really not much going on for the most part, but just keep on the radar, y'all. D23 is not that far away, and I'm expecting that we're going to get some really big upsets in the good and bad fashion, because a lot of it comes down to speculation. If you over speculate, you're going to be disappointed. If you don't, you're going to be hopefully pleasantly surprised. So just a friendly reminder.
It's next weekend, right?
I think so. I don't know why I thought it was like...
Or this coming week.
Yeah, man. Like, it feels so weird that Comic-Con was, 2 months ago at this point?
Mm-hmm.
And I remember like, oh my God, we got so much stuff just announced. Now I'm like itching, like D23 can't come fast enough. Now here we finally are.
I think you're just going to get all the trailers that they didn't release, like, there. Like, you know, like the Ant-Man trailer was released there, but not for the public consumption. Right. I think there was going to be a lot of that. So Guardians of the Galaxy 3 trailer. I think we're going to talk about the holiday special, maybe. I think they might, but I think they might give you some pieces to Phase 6 because there's a lot of mystery to what's going on. Mm-hmm. And with at least with the hint of Wolverine that we've gotten in She-Hulk, they have to talk about mutants. They're setting up dominoes to just knock down. So I think we're gonna get some Wolverine or X-Men talk. That's my theory.
Yeah, I'm
sorry. Who did you say? Did you say?
Said the magic word.
Did you just say that we're getting Wolverine? Did you just say that to me?
That's my theory, man.
Louis, you just straight up sounded like you're like a wrestler.
Canada's own Wolverine.
Wolverine.
The day we actually get a Wolverine, we need to. God, I don't know how we're gonna plan this. So this is a problem for future me. But when we're 100% going to get Wolverine walking on the screen, I need 1,000,000% need to record Louis' reaction. First viewing. I need that because I know it's going to be nothing short of spectacular and entertaining. I don't know twerking's going to be involved and toilet paper being whipped off your butt during it, but I know it's going to be a good time. Hopefully it's not too far away.
We can only hope.
Yeah.
Watch this happens. He just shows up out of nowhere, like in passing, just casually in She-Hulk. If that happens, I will.
Hey, bub.
Actually, I'm careful because I've learned that even when I make stupidly sounding bets, they end up coming true, and I eat my words. So I'm not going to say anything this time.
You're a pants pooper, bro. Pooped your pants.
I like my dream cameo for She-Hulk right now is Deadpool. I would love to see them both break the fourth wall together.
That'd be a hell of a way to announce Deadpool. Like a tease.
But why not though? Like Ryan Reynolds does the most ridiculous things ever in a world where he can take a break from like owning a soccer team
and gin and a cellular provider.
That's just too. That's too big of a name to just randomly come in. She-Hulk the show.
Yes and no. But I think I would, now that you got my gears spin a little bit, Tom, what I would imagine is imagine her doing a fourth wall break in the middle of it. You just hear hey, wait a minute. I thought only I could do this. And then you just see him Deadpool show up and she's like,
and then that's what? It though. I don't see anything more than that. That is it. That is my thing. And then she can just go, actually, we did it first. And then it's just a whole thing.
I remember she's like, remember what I said about episode 3 about the whole cameo thing? I forgot about him. And then it just completely smooths over it. Now that would be amazing.
So you get a fourth wall break and a fourth wall break. That's 16 walls.
Breaking walls. I love it. Man, yeah, that's a good theory already. I like that.
Actually, here's the theory I wanted to run by you guys real quick. I had it from the first episode. So when they crash, they see the spaceship from Sakaar and they crash. And then you see that Bruce Banner's turning Hulk, but the camera pans and it's all about Jennifer Walters and her transition. Now, is he transitioning back to Smart Hulk or Professor Hulk or whatever Hulk you prefer? Or is he going because he's losing control? That is, I think we may have seen the first sighting of a full-fledged Hulk in the wild since Ragnarok. Where would
I think I missed it for a second. Where did you say you saw the camera pan in the first episode?
So he starts to turn green and then the camera pans to Jennifer Walters as she starts to Hulk out for the first time and then she runs off in the woods. But the camera starts
in the
on
accident.
Bruce.
Right.
So he starts to turn green. Now, my theory is because this is an uncontrollable event, it's a car accident. If the thing just broke, he would have just transformed. But I think that this, like, it looked like a big fucking deal. Like, I feel like the transition to Bruce Banner, if that watch thing broke to Smart Hulk, would just be like, I'm Smart Hulk now. Like, it just would have been like a quick change. But then he starts to lose control. I think that like that was going to be like an Incredible Hulk sighting where he's not in control. That's my theory, anyway.
What do you think about that, Louis?
I think Avengers Hulk is best Hulk. So any way that we're going to get that back, I'll take it. I don't know. He was Smart Hulk for the rest of that episode, and also in episode 2 when he was back on this car. So I don't know if he's losing control again or he just can't stay in human form.
And also there were stronger bits of rage from Smart Hulk. Like I feel like he's losing it. And that like I think it's somehow like I think that we're seeing a kind of like a regression here.
You know, so I'm watching it right now. I saw what happens like when she gets the blood and she's going in like she sees in her reflection in the mirror and he's starting to go. I saw his device. You see it like fine, and then it looks like it like glitches and cracks. It goes from green to red and then like grays out. So it looks like his device failed there too. But just like you said, though, he starts to change and he starts to scream a little bit. He just starts yelling. It's certainly possible that I don't know. I could see something there. I could see that it totally like that is a very like blink and you miss it thing where because isn't that like also I don't know what your kind of like comic book knowledge is. We're very like surface level, if that. In I think in the World War Hulk, there's part of like he gets so mad because there's some stuff that happens to his like family owns a car and all that causes him to be more of the like aggressive and brutal Hulk, and that's ultimately like what leads to the World War Hulk. That's a mouthful. I hate it. So I could potentially see if like, you know, eventually down the road, he does.
Because especially his mental state right now, you can see how lonely Bruce Banner is.
Oh yeah.
At this point, his friends are either retired and on a moon base or dead and gone. Like he doesn't like it. There's all this stuff. Like you can see that he's going through some shit.
Right.
And then like the fact that he like there's someone else like him. Like all he wanted was like no. Like you get to be with me. Like I finally have someone in this shit with me. And then that makes like that first episode good. I know we're supposed to talk about episode 3. Sorry.
No, it's all good.
Yeah. It's the Canadian way. Sorry there, bud.
You know, I think also you were the first ever Canadian on our show and international guest. So you're checking off all the boxes today.
I'm honored.
Heck yeah, we are honored. Thank you.
You're doing the Great White North. I'm proud there, boys.
Awesome. So, you know, let's get actually into it. Let's talk about episode 3 of She-Hulk. Like I said, a very, very, very controversial episode, which I was not expecting. But then as soon as I hopped on Reddit right after I watched the episode, I should have seen this coming. But what I didn't see coming was that post-credit scene and learning more about Megan Thee Stallion.
So I tend to stay away from the internet from this kind of stuff. What was the internet's big complaint of this?
So to kind of summarize this, and this is kind of going into my Star Wars fandom dipping and frustrations. So, you know, when The Last Jedi came out, it immediately solidified all the just people shitting on Star Wars. Not even just that movie. There was a lot of dump on there. But I mean, if they were like putting across the board, it was entire Disney owned Star Wars like saga, everything Lucasfilm is doing, everything the directors are doing, everything. And then there's people who are like, no, this is great, you're fine, you're actually not seeing the point here. Then there's fans who are like, no. So there's like this huge divide that's going on, and it's been going on for a little bit, if I'm being frank. What like seeing a little just kind of like social listening from even stuff we got in last year's movies to where we're at now. And I don't think it's been helping, because even in Miss Marvel there was some of that. People were like, this show sucks, it doesn't make sense, I don't get it. And then people are like, oh my god, it's incredible, it's amazing. That's fine, you're fine, that's fine. But now here's the issue. A lot of like woman focused leads are taking place in the MCU, and a lot of it is like back to back and stuff, which whatever. But I know a lot of people who have a lot of insecurities, and I'm just going to say it, a lot of insecurities with not being able to relate to someone of the opposite sex of them. So long, like entertainment in general. I mean, this is a long decades and decades and decades long of just always being your lead person is always a guy, usually white and stuff like that. So now it's really in the last like decade, it's really been changing more to offer more like inclusivity and actually make it more relatable. So you can see someone you can actually like, hey, that person looks like me, or I actually have that same kind of like background as that person. Awesome. Yeah. So a lot of people don't like it. Now, I get there's some easy or not easy. There's some fair criticisms on shows writing and just like, do we really need this? Like, for example, do we really need Megan Thee Stallion just overplayed and all over the place this episode?
100% yes. I think Lou and I can speak for you and say 100% yes, we did need this.
So there you go. Awesome. And there's other people who are like, no, this is the dumbest thing ever. And then they're using that to say, this is terrible. I'm done with Marvel. I hate the MCU, and I fucking hate that term. This is awful. They're terrible. Marvel's over. They're done. I do no longer support this, and just completely just becoming just like how it's been with Star Wars the last several years. And this is what I was been fearing all along, that I knew was eventually going to happen post Endgame, because there's so many different things that are happening. A lot of like the main characters we grew an entire relationship and funding for over 10 years are gone and not leading as much. So there's this big growing period of changing. And now they're actually doing what comic books do, getting more stories out, introducing more characters. It's getting a little bit more wacky, slapsticky. Yeah. But also like there's a lot of stuff that if you enjoy this, you can enjoy that. If you don't like this, you can enjoy something else you still always like. It doesn't change it. And a lot of people have issues with that. And perfect thing with Star Wars. People like, Disney ruined my childhood. Shut the fuck up. Your childhood is not ruined. You are ruining your childhood because you are choosing no longer to accept it because you don't like something that's new that has nothing to do with what you enjoyed for 40 years prior. Shut the fuck up. So
it just sounds like a lot of people that didn't grow up with Buffy the Vampire Slayer. You know what I mean?
Right. So it's just like, that's why there's a lot of this online discourse, and every episode, I mean, we see like She-Hulk right away. Episode 1, IMDb, it's like at like a 3 or 4 because it gets review bound, but then people are like, no, the show's actually good. And then stuff happens. Now, there's good ways to talk about criticism and there's bad ways. And a lot of it is the bad ways, but there's still opportunity for people to get better with how they communicate this stuff. So I know I was going to say that's a short version, but that was kind of the long version because I've been holding this in for a week, essentially.
No, that's a very good rant. I appreciate that.
No problem. That's what I'm here for.
I enjoyed Ms. Marvel, and I'm loving She-Hulk. Now, it's probably clear to both of you that I'm very macho and very manly, but this is actually this is one of the most fun in Marvel I've had since like seeing everyone group together and have Avengers assemble that, because it's just honestly it's just dumb fun for me. Mm-hmm. This show, and especially in episode 3, it's very season 5 of Angel. I'm not sure if you ever went down that show, but it's at the 5th season of Angel. He just gets a law firm, and all it is a bunch of demons and monsters showing up at a law firm, and it's fucking badass. Nice. At one point, he gets turned into a puppet. It's fucking incredible television.
Nice.
But all this is it's just it brings me back to that. Like, this is Ally McBeal meets season 5 of Angel in a world where I can see Wong do that portal in the middle of a lawyer meeting, and then at the same time they're dealing with a shapeshifter that's causing a muck. I'm entertained. Like, I'm super entertained. This is I just like it when writers are going, hey, we're gonna have fun here. What's the most creative thing you got going? We're going to put it together in the show. So just have fun. And when comic book writers and comic book show writers get together and they get to show what their creativity is, I think what we get is a great TV show. And that's what I think She-Hulk is.
Nice, man. Yeah, I mean, I do agree. I'm entertained. Am I blown over and like, this is the best thing since sliced bread and Iron Man 3? No, but this is still a great time. I don't know why I chose Iron Man 3. Just go with it.
It's because of the shoes, man. The Iron Man 3s are out. Everyone wants a pair.
Iron Man 3s. Yes. Thank you. It's all connected, like Kevin Feige said. Yeah. Louis, how about you, though? I'm kind of curious. After episode 3, how are you feeling?
I'm not totally against the MCU. I don't care. This show is. I feel like nothing is happening in this show. There's like, I said that last week too. I don't know. Like I need more to happen. She did the meeting with Emil. You know, she talked to Wong. I really like the saving grace for this show for me is always the fourth wall breaks. I always think those are the best part of each episode. The second episode, I believe, was the one where Bruce said that he's a completely different person, literally. And that was like the best writing.
Yeah.
Best writing
Clever.
you could do. It was the best. This week she said, don't get used to all the cameos. You know, there's not a cameo in every episode except for Bruce and Abomination. And this week it's Wong. And we all know Daredevil's coming too. So it's like, seems like there's just going to be a little cameo every week and a silly post-credit scene every week. At least that's what it's looking like so far. But I'm enjoying. I mean, is it my favorite show? No, but I am enjoying it for what it's worth. Anyway,
nice, man. I know you and I were kind of like lukewarm to say after Miss Marvel. Not that it was a bad thing. It has a very like niche audience, but it's just like, you know, I just wasn't like, just really even grabbed my attention.
I found Miss Marvel to be very Lizzie McGuire meets I don't know, superheroes. It was.
I
didn't mind it. Like I learned so much about the history of India and Pakistan in that show.
Yes, yeah, but
it's what I like what it's doing. It's like it's something I could have like if I had a daughter. It's something I could have watched with her. They're reaching out to a whole new set of crowds. Like that's what I'm kind of enjoying. It's like for years it's just been. Here you go, fellas. This is what you've wanted to see for years, and we're putting it on the screen. Now it's like, well, we fucking have you already. Let's get some other people involved. Like, we know you're going to watch it. Whether you like it or not, we're going to watch it.
Absolutely.
And that's what they're doing right now. Every show has had a different tone, and I enjoy that. Like, it's been across the board. Everything's been different. Like, I just rewatched Loki just to see if, like, is there any connection or anything from there. But it's been this very interesting wild ride of just everything being different, and then somehow down the road Kevin Feige is going to tie it all together in a very nice bow, and we're all going to be happy again, and we're like, fuck yeah, Kevin Feige's still a genius.
A very nice Secret War shaped bow.
Yeah.
The problem with Miss Marvel is that Miss Marvel came out at the same time as the Umbrella Academy, The Boys, and Stranger Things 4. And so Miss Marvel was 4th on my list of shit I wanted to watch that week.
And plus, wasn't Ragnarok came out in between the final episode and the previous one, Miss Marvel?
Love and Thunder fan.
Oh my God, yes, Love and Thunder.
And yes, Thor Love and Thunder was awesome.
And Obi-Wan Kenobi.
I love Thor Love and Thunder. A lot of people shit on that movie. I thought that was just I enjoyed the heck out of that movie. I'm right there with you.
I like you, Tom.
Louis, I'm bringing it back, man. We're gonna be bearded buddies.
You're a good guy.
Yeah.
Oh man, so much love in this episode. I think it's really needed. That's the love, talking back about what's going on with this episode is the Thunder.
Yeah.
I don't want to like reiterate too much what you guys are saying because I think I'm kind of equal mind. The fourth wall breaks, I was a little bit hesitant on how they be, and even this one's episode was great too, with the whole like, just remember at the end, like remember who the show is actually about. Just kind of like a little reminder. It's cool and it's tasteful to say. Now the person that had the big cameo this episode, of course, was Wong, which we knew after that trailer from Comic-Con that dropped. We saw more of like these crazy awesome cameos, what's to come, and now what we've seen a little bit. Now with Wong, they're trying to figure out like how they can how Jen can actually like clear Abomination. And of course, you find out about that little like, oh well, Wong will say, oh, I will testify and tell the truth and all that fun stuff. So he mentions that he wanted to do the whole fighting and he pulled Abomination. so he can do Sorcerer Supreme training, which to me feels very strange, and I feel like that's awfully vague. Why would you find Abomination? Why would you get him out of jail? Why are you fighting in this ring over there? And then just completely say, oh yeah, Sorcerer Supreme training. And doesn't he mention it during like the trial? And they're like, oh yeah. Like no one questions that.
Here's my theory on this. Because he knows where he is. Like if you want to seek out a bad guy or someone that was a bad guy, you gotta know where they are. And if villains or anything, they're fucking secretive. They don't like to share the location. So you just go to where you know where one is. I think Abomination is a decent one to fight because he makes himself big. He would like visually. He's like, all right, he's a task. Wong, show us what you got. And if you're gonna do it anywhere, do it where you have an opportunity to have fights. You have the ability to teleport anywhere you want. Like you can just do that. I'm not sure if the fights that happened there was the training part of it. I think that was just because like there's a scene in Shang-Chi where he goes like, I'm going to teach Emil about pulling his punches. Like I think that there was like staging a fight. I think Wong kind of cheated his way to the Sorcerer Supreme, and I think he's our big bad of the Phase 5 and 6 that no one's really talking about. But that's just
that's a prediction.
Yeah. But no, but that's like my theory. Like if I can kind of make it make sense to myself, then I can enjoy it. It's like when they put a musical in a TV show that's already going on. They can make it make a little bit of sense, then I'm on board.
You know, I am going to sound crazy saying this, but you know how everyone's saying Phase 4 is Phase Wong and Wong is in everything?
Yeah.
So this is a multiverse saga, right?
Mm-hmm.
We already know that the big bad apparently is Kang. Kang is everywhere. What if What if Kang is pretending to be Wong and that's why he's everywhere?
No, what if Wong is just a Kang variant?
Oh my god.
Because some of them look different, right? You look at all the Lokis, like there's an alligator Loki for Christ's sake. Why not Wong is a Kang? So the similarities are everywhere.
Oh my god. Okay. if that is somewhat true. If that is true, this one I'll go on a line for. If that one is true, I will. I don't know. Help me here. What would be funny? And don't say poop my pants, because I'm not going to shit my pants.
You always poop in your pants.
You can make like a Wong Kang 2024 shirt.
A Wong Kang 2024. Oh god! And Secret Wars comes out 2024 or 2025. It's one of those two.
Yeah, it's one of those two.
25.
Yeah, so you get Wong Kang.
Wang.
Wang.
When I was watching She-Hulk episode 3, no part of me went, Wong is Kang.
But now try to rewatch the episode and see if you think of that.
Yeah.
Oh my god, because doesn't he act a little weird? He seems weird. He's too blunt.
Well, he's been acting weird since the first Doctor Strange, where he had like no lines and is a super serious guy to like, I really fucking love Haagen-Dazs ice cream or whatever, Ben & Jerry's ice cream. And
Uncle
also,
Fudge.
Yeah, like he's been turning into
tuna melt.
Yeah, exactly. He's turned into a punchline, but at the same time, he's still a badass. Like even in the fight scenes, like, Wong, you're invited to my wedding. Like he's kind of the best.
Wong is incredible. And you know what's best? So they're trying to track him down too ahead of time, and they pull up like their version of like LinkedIn apparently, or it's a dating app that just looks like LinkedIn. I don't know. Also know that it's like purple, like that marble purple color.
Well, they have a little subtle differences. Their YouTube is also called Uscreen. So it's clearly in a different universe. So the subtleties are all there.
Oh man, but we see his like work history, and like he worked 9 years as a Target sales associate at like the Kamatosh. I forgot how to say it all the time. But dude worked 9 years at Target, and then worked 11 years as the librarian, and then Sorcerer Supreme. Like,
that rise to fame and some of that Kang shit we're talking about.
He channels all his anger from working at Target for 9 years.
There must be an old commercial where Benedict Wong worked for did a Target commercial. That's the only thing that I can see why that was a joke. If we're gonna talk about it realistically, there must be some kind of
inside joke.
Yeah, that's the only reason they will put that in. But can you just imagine that, right? It's in just 9 years, I'm going nowhere. I work for Target. Goes on vacation once. Boom. She's a sorcerer. Cool, man. Look after these books. You got it.
I wonder if one day we'll get not a Wong series, but a backstory episode or movie. I don't know, but I could see a segment somewhere.
A Wong flashback.
Yeah, a Wong flashback. It'd be a good time. So the whole actual trial of Emil Blonsky, they have all these witnesses talking about how he's great, even helped one prison guard, I guess, with his marriage a little bit.
A little bit too much.
Right?
How he says, I love you? He's all right, no, he can stop talking to him. I think that guy's in love with Emil Blonsky as well. I think there's a 9th soulmate that we're not talking about, or an 8th soulmate.
8th soulmate, that could be the one. And, as some people were speculating, and I was kind of in the same boat last week, I thought this nod to the 7 soulmates that he's been talking to, in the Pen Pal program. I thought that was a nod to Thunderbolts. I guess not. Yeah. A little too much.
A few people did.
Yeah. But I'm not giving out hope.
It's all the teasers with Mephisto. I'm still waiting for him to show up.
Mephisto one day. Michael Cera will grace us as Mephisto one day.
Say Michael Cera?
Yeah, I made a TikTok one day when I was just screwing around, and I found this weird sound that's this is challenge. You got number and then number and it's just gibberish. And I was we're gonna make this Marvel based. So ahead of Comic-Con, I made a TikTok that said leaked MCU panel cast announcements. And so I made Adam Sandler, Mr. Fantastic. I made Kate McKinnon from Saturday Night Live as Sue Storm. I made Steve Buscemi as Ghost Rider. Pete Davidson is Wolverine. I made Jason Mewes Johnny Storm, him and George. And then right at the end I ended it with Michael Cera as Mephisto.
I'm not gonna lie to you, I would watch all of those movies. Right. I would watch them 100% with complete glee.
Shut up!
I'm gonna reach it.
I'm gonna kick you with my really long leg.
Okay, you know what? I think Adam Sandler's Mr. Fantastic probably could have taken Wanda, not John Krasinski's Mr. Fantastic. Oh man, yeah. So that's the whole reason why I bring up Michael Cera, and that got me almost 20,000 views. But that's awesome. Nothing compared to Louis with his 100 million view TikTok.
Yeah, you're a hero, man.
It's only 95,000 or something.
Yeah, who's counting? Only
why are we splitting hairs? Stop rounding up, man. Once it hits it, it hits it.
Right. Yeah, but the whole trial again.
92.9 thousand, okay?
92.9, the drive. 838. So this trial, do you think it's too good to be true that Emil is reformed, or you think he's just blowing smoke and he's gotten really good at it?
Well, here's the thing. For if you rewatch the first Hulk movie, in his mind, he does think he's the hero. So that speech that he gave in episode 2, where he goes I thought I was supposed to be the good guy. I thought I was stopping a monster. When I was given, sold on this stuff, he's a man that's been abandoned by his own country in a sense, because he made the sacrifice to do what he did for what he thought was greater good. So I feel I'm kind of for this hippy dippy Emil Blonsky.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's gonna last, because I think we're gonna see Julia Louis-Dreyfus by the end of this series making him an offer he can't refuse.
Right.
But I do think he's reformed, and I think that this is a guy that goes you know what, win some, lose some. I lost, and I gotta just try and get my life back.
Louis was making a face. He's like, who? Louis, who's he talking about?
He's talking about the Contessa Valentina Allegra de Fontaine.
Yeah, I can't say all those words.
Yes, you can.
Louis is one of the only 5 people on the planet who actually memorized that and can say it. every time.
Just be happy I didn't see Elaine from Seinfeld.
We're all thinking it. The one point I bring up,
sir.
The one point I want to bring up though is that I too was like sipping his Kool-Aid a little bit and like, okay, maybe he's a nice guy. However, I was pointing out that in the Incredible Hulk, he does actually make the actor decision, saying like, no, give me more, give me the serum, give me the blood. Right? He's the one who actively sought out getting the same type of treatment to become on like the Hulk's level, because he got the serum at first.
Yeah, he wants to win. He doesn't have the full serum. They didn't give him the full treatment because they don't have the Captain America serum. Well, at least like that was their
attempt.
Their attempt at the time, but I guess we find out later that they did have a Captain America serum the whole time, because there's some guy in Falcon and Winter Soldier that's been Captain America for years and we just didn't know about it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's a very confusing thing that goes on.
Did you just call Isaiah Bradley some guy?
It's because I couldn't remember his name, man.
His name is Isaiah Bradley. He is Captain America.
I need to write things down next time I come on the show.
You're okay, man. You're okay.
Come in with these like, I know who I'm talking about. I just can't put the names together right now, sir.
Oh, it's okay. One of the earliest things I've ever done on this episode podcast that I edited out, and Louis would never let me forget about that. When we were talking about speculation for Love and Thunder like a year ago. There was a news article that said that, oh my God, I do it every goddamn time.
Said that Russell Crowe was
Russell Crowe,
movie, but I said Kurt Russell.
And I was talking the whole time like, yeah, Kurt Russell is confirmed to be actually playing a character, maybe Zeus in Thor: Love and Thunder. And Louis is looking at me like, once again, I farted or something. You can smell it through the online.
You said, who do you think he's going to play in this movie? And I said, Ego. You said, what? I said, why wouldn't he be Ego? He's already been Ego. It'd be weird to make him somebody else. And you said, oh my God, I meant Russell Crowe. And then you edited out the entire thing because you hate me.
No, I that was one of those things where I was like, I sound like such a dumbass. And we were only like, I don't even know if we were even like at 10 episodes of the podcast yet, where I was like, if someone listens to this, they're going to be like, who the hell is this jackass thinks he's just going to have
you gotta keep that stuff in, man. I fucked up once by calling Star Wars Star Trek for like a good half hour on one of our earlier episodes.
That's funny. Yeah, so that one's up there. I have it saved. I have the original file. One day it's going to come to light. Someone's going to leak it. But I will never be able to live that one down. So no worries. But yeah, going back to the whole like Emil Blonsky thing, one thing I forgot to mention was the whole like he's at the DODC and he's under highly like surveillance. Like his toilet's there. Everyone's gonna watch him take a dump. So I want to know if Wong has been like transporting him and everything, and they didn't find out until like that footage surfaced. Was Wong potentially erasing people's memories to actually make sure they don't even see him leave, or was he doing some other type of spell lesser than that?
I would, if anything, I would do some kind of spell that messes up with security cameras. Like there's got to be an easier way than just like memory loss. You can put security guards to sleep real easy. Like I'm sure that there's some kind of magic where Wong is like, you're asleep, and then they just portal on out of there. Or has like a Emil Blonsky, just like, I don't know, look-alike that's just like asleep. Like how you also have to think about yourself, like when they're escaping, and how crucial like of the time are they like really staring at cameras. Like it's not a casino in Vegas. If the guys are supposed to be asleep, they're just gonna be like, yo, no alarms, let's just chill. Right.
That's a good point.
No, they just use a new Asgardian elf to go in there and be.
Fuck, that's some outside the box thinking. I appreciate it.
Not really.
There
just
you
part
go.
of the episode.
Yeah, I know.
That's part of the episode we haven't covered yet. So the whole like little B plot, which is also a great fourth wall break of like A and B plot or A and B story coming together. Nice. Yeah. The whole like Asgardian or the elf just shape shifting, and that's where I get this whole Megan Thee Stallion thing. But I gotta say, I fucking loved when the judge said like, but you see, like, your honor, like, Asgard is not a place. And he's like, no, like, cut the BS. I'm not gonna work here.
We're not listening to Thor speeches now.
I thought that was hilarious.
But he does that in Thor Ragnarok in a spaceship. So, like, I'm assuming that those two actors that do the plays for Thor and all that, there must be a Ragnarok movie based on that in the MCU, or that speech was done. Or they had a bigger tour than just New Asgard. Like, they've been on Broadway, like, right after Captain America, the musical.
Did you just say those two actors? No, I'm just kidding. I don't know their names.
That's what's stretching. I don't know. Did they show in News of Asgard and Love and Thunder if they actually had like anything saying like that line like printed on anywhere, or was it?
Well, like they do plays there, and if New Asgard is like now a tourist attraction, I wouldn't put it past that judge to go on vacation to New Asgard.
Right.
Like, there's just a thing. I think that if they did Ragnarok the play, which they did for Love and Thunder, I think it's quite reasonable that someone went there on vacation, saw himself a cheesy play, but they did that exact same speech, and he's like, "I see you, white elf."
Mm-hmm. Or someone keeps, or he's had other people from Asgard try and use that same excuse, and he's like, "Okay, no, technically, nope."
Please.
Asgard. But good times. Yeah, the whole plot I thought was pretty funny. But do you guys it sounds like from what you described earlier, Tom, when you were bringing up Angel and everything, you enjoyed that part of like, hey, we actually got like like a separate story going on. It's entertaining.
Yeah, this was so funny for me. I like that. Like, as soon as the douchebag left the office and he came right back in, you know what? Like, I knew exactly what they were doing, but it was perfect. It was well timed. It was like the obvious joke, but you have to do it, and I enjoyed that very much.
Heck yeah. How about you, Louis? Did you enjoy this little tangent that we got that kind of came together at the end?
Yeah, I thought it was nice. That other lawyer, I don't know his name.
I think it's Pug.
Yeah. See? I don't know everything. Everyone knows him from some other show, but there was this show on USA a while back. It was called Sirens. It was about firefighters. Mm-hmm. And one of the firefighters' girlfriend was a cop, maybe. I don't remember exactly, but one of her partners was that actor. So I always remember him as like this handsome, really dumb guy. And every time I see him, I just think of the show Sirens. But
interesting. He was also on Arrow for 3 seasons.
Yeah. That's the show that everybody remembers him from, but I never watched Arrow.
Nice. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say he seems smarter here and like more respected than what I'm used to, so it takes a second for me to like click it all together in my brain.
Right.
I thought it was funny. How much money did you spend? Was it 100? More. 110? More. 125? More. 200? No, I'm not an idiot. It was like, oh my.
And then he says that like,
you get you. And nowhere will 175,000.
He said in some parts of the country that could get you a house. That one hit hard because, oh my God, trying to get a house, not easy.
Yeah, that's in Delaware, I think, in Delaware alone.
Somewhere. If it's like you want a studio place. But what I thought was actually going to happen with the elf changing shapes and everything, I thought she was actually impersonating Pug at the bar when she was like, hey, can you actually go to the stand and talk about like what you just said? I totally thought that was the elf like impersonating. So she was going to say something like damnifying the client who's a douchebag. I don't really care about his name. And it was going to basically like end up like ruling in favor of the elf because she tricked the whole time. And then Pug wouldn't even know that like the conversation took place. So I was overthinking that a little bit, which I'm kind of glad didn't happen because it would have really made any sense, or who would care about this guy if he gets guilty? Like what?
I really enjoyed the elf had like decent like comic relief when she was imitating Pug on the way out, going like, "I love disrespecting women. I love like that," and he's just like, "No, I don't. You guys know me." And he just gets back to his office like this defeated lawyer. Like I don't know. I think he's really like. There's a nice comic relief in this show that just tickles me.
Yeah, and that's a good way to do comedy too. It's subtle. It's good. It's not like super forced, and it just works.
And it's on topic for like what this whole show is.
Right. You're gonna say, Louis?
This is more aimed towards Devin, but Tom, I would like to hear your side as well. How do you feel, Devin, that this show now has a shapeshifter, and we still haven't seen a Skrull since Captain Marvel, since WandaVision?
We saw a Skrull in WandaVision. We saw a Skrull in was it
Spider-Man? Yeah, it was at the end of WandaVision.
But I thought there was another Skrull that popped up somewhere in another show or movie.
That's the last one I can think of off the top of my head. But you're always looking out for Skrulls because you're so excited for Secret Invasion. And now we have a shapeshifter in this show, not a Skrull. How does that make you feel?
That makes me kind of wonder, because I was like, the whole thing with Secret Invasion is that the Skrulls are actually bad, right? In comics, they're the reasons like the whole invasion's happening. But with how they position Skrulls versus Kree in Captain Marvel, it's like, oh no, actually the twist is that we're the good guys. We're the ones just trying to live. They're the ones who are bad, which checks out. Kree are pretty bad people. Watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and you'll see all the bad tyranny. But now that there's these elves that are very chaotic, who are doing all the shape-shifting stuff, I could definitely see that being a part of Secret Invasion, but I don't think they're going to be the central like evil villains or whatever, because they seem like they're more just like the chaotic, like, I don't want to say leprechaun, but like, you know, those kind of chaotic, like, I'm just causing chaos because I love it, versus like, I'm evil and I'm going to do something and I'm going to make people just bow to my will.
Didn't the Skrulls have a purpose to why they were invading Earth? Like, wasn't there like it wasn't like it was like a necessity, wasn't it? Like, there's a few stories on this. Like, I'm pretty sure that it comes out of necessity. Like, there's no home planet. Earth suited them. This was the best they can do to survive. So they slowly but surely start taking over in certain forms, and you don't know who you can trust. No.
Yes. So basically, the reason why I guess Earth in the comics is just a very prime location in the universe, and I guess the Skrulls were basically looking at it as a perfect spot for them to do stuff.
Yeah. But they got like plans going on. Like, as we know, Nick Fury was with them for like a little while, so there's some kind of conversation that needs to be done. Unless that wasn't Nick Fury at Tony's funeral, and that was a Skrull as well. But that's a debate for another time.
Yeah, man, I'm just so excited, man. Oh, I'm so happy. I hope the show lives up to the hype that I give it, because I have very high hopes and expectations. But I think it's gonna be a good time. Yeah. So, is there anything else that we really haven't covered too much? I know there's a few things that we could probably go on a little bit more, like the whole Megan Thee Stallion, Wrecking Crew.
Well, the Wrecking Crew showing up, and like this is what leads me to believe that there's like a bigger bad to come forward, whether it's Contessa, Valerie LaFontaine. God damn it, I tried. I'm sorry,
that wasn't terrible. Contessa Valentina Allegra de Fontaine.
Okay.
Allegra D, like the medicine.
But now we have like the mystery of who's behind doing this thing, and I can't help that there's like 3 potential people. So it could be Val, even though she doesn't like that name, but we can call her that as long as she's not in earshot. Thunderbolt Ross, who, like, rest in peace to William Hurt, but he's still canon right now. Or could it be the leader? So we can bring back Emil Blonsky. Can we bring back we were hinted at, the leader from the original Hulk movie?
It's a possibility.
Mr. Blue.
Yeah.
We need to meet. It is interesting because like I've been wondering too. It's like what's the end game of this episode, right? Like who's going to be the big bad? Because I don't see it as being Titania by any stretch of the means. Just a villain for her to like take down her first villain, but not the big bad, right? So when the whole like alley fight, which was very funny too, when the wrecking crew shows up, which I was like, holy shit, it's a wrecking crew, because I'm reading Secret Wars from the 80s and everything, so it's awesome to see that. Like I knew the thing because I've seen the thing, or read the thing. Anyways, the whole like they try to steal her blood. Yeah, that's what's like. Oh, okay. Who hired her? Some theories. However, I want to say that I think the whole we need to get this the thing so we can abuse the thing in Marvel is getting a little too saturated for me. Point being, Falcon and Winter Soldier. Everyone's a fucking super soldier right now. It's always like, we got to get the serum. We got to get the serum. We got to get the serum. And now, oh, there's another Hulk. We need to get the blood. We need to get the blood so we can make a serum and we can make it like more like it always comes down to that. And I think it's just, almost like human nature. We always want power, military, whatever. But I think it's like, does it always have to be we're trying to get a vial of something so we can be more than human? Like that's my only grievance with it.
Yeah. And I get that. Like some stuff starts to get stale after a little while, right? You want to see a different big bad. Like that's what I really liked about WandaVision, where you kind of saw that the big bad was Wanda herself without her knowing it. Like, and that was kind of cool. Like, there's like Loki having to chase down Loki and then falling in love with himself was actually a perfect story for that character.
Yeah.
I'm watching She-Hulk, and like what I like is that it can go in any direction, and if you can bring one guy back, I don't see why you can't bring another. And I think like we've been deprived of some really good Hulk stories, and I think what Phase 5 or at least Phase 6 is going to give us is like some really like, you know what, we hear you, Marvel fans, you want Hulk back, well, he's back and he's better than ever, and like there's gonna be some stories leading up to that, and that's what I thought that She-Hulk was gonna be. It's not just an introduction, but it's also like a takeoff point for Bruce Banner, because there's like 2 of the original 4 now that are out there, and I'm still waiting to see Captain America on a moon base.
Maybe I was talking about this on a prior episode. I just started watching Humans, and the very first thing is they have a secret base on the moon, and I was like, oh shit. Never say never, guys. Never say never. There's something I was going to add to that, but Louis, did you have anything you wanted to say?
No. I mean, the wrecking crew was the thing. I really liked the guy with the hard hat. That was just like,
that's all he had.
Did you just raid like steal like Asgardian construction workers?
He had a hard hat on. He had his AirPods in. He was listening to Wolf Road, and he was just going at it, man.
That's funny.
Shout out to Devin's band.
Thanks, man. So my theory here, I think it'd be really cool if they actually try and tie it back truly to the leader. That'd be so cool. But we know Matt Murdock is going to show up. The theory is about this whole like Frogman and stuff, or Leapfrog are the 2 versions. Brian from Mr. Marvel's Minutes podcast, prior episode, he brought that up. But Kingpin. My theory is actually leaning more towards him being the one who wants that. And when I say lean, it's like a 55% towards him versus like a 45 as a leader, or it's someone completely don't even know.
I like that theory, because I think what we're going to be getting is a lot of like Wilson Fisk heavy in the next little while, especially in the TV shows. And I think so. That's a good theory. And like if you know anything about Wilson like Fisk, you can go back to like wherever you want to read it, whether it's a comic book, you go back to like the Spider-Man cartoon in the 90s. Like Kingpin is dipping his toes in literally everything for power.
Yeah, he's always there.
So That's a very good theory as well. I just want, like, there's a whole thing with Hulk where we never really touch like his like like he has some great villains and we haven't seen any of them with the exception of Abomination. It would have been nice to like at least bring in someone to come in, and like I think what we're seeing here is like this is also going to be our introduction to Red Hulk.
Yes,
one way or another. Like that has to be happening.
They've already laid two little Easter eggs too. In the very first episode, when Hulk destroys the vials, he's like, "Oh, can't let another one of us happen." Like you say that for a reason, and then of course 2 episodes later, they try and steal blood, unsuccessful. Mm-hmm. So yeah, mm-hmm. I 100% agree. We're gonna get someone, and it's not gonna be good.
No, exactly. So there's something on the cuspus there. There's got to be something said. Like, they're gonna introduce some characters down the road that we need, like that you need for Thunderbolt. Like it is Red Hulk, but you can easily replace Red Hulk with Abomination if you wanted to, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Or maybe this is their way of saying like, hey, Abomination really is good. Or how poetic would it be if Abomination sacrifices himself fighting off something to show he really is converted and he is a good person, but someone's got to take a spot, and that could be the Red Hulk.
I love it.
There we go. So there's only one little funny thing I'll talk about at the end of the episode here regarding episode 3. A tiny little, like, I guess you can call it an Easter egg that's just so funny, but I just got to bring it up. But is there any other final thoughts on this episode that you guys have, or any predictions for what we're going to see in the next episode in a few days?
I think we're going to have to see Jennifer defend Titania. I think that there was a new segment earlier on in the show where she was having legal troubles. So I think that there's going to be like some headbutting with her boss about like, we want you to defend her. Defend her. I'm part of the reason why she's arrested.
Right.
So I do think we might, like, that's my big theory for like coming up in this show.
There we go. How about you, Lou?
Yeah. You guys watch this show a lot more than I watch it, I think. Like, I think we watch it the same, but I think you guys watch it more. You know what I mean?
Like, I watch it, but you watch it.
Yeah, you guys like watch that shit. I think everyone can pull the giant stick out of their butt, and I think that we're not going to get any more Megan Thee Stallion in it. I think it's going to be okay. I sticking with what I told you before She-Hulk even started, Devin. I think we're not going to get Daredevil until 6, maybe 7, and he's only going to be there for 2 minutes, possibly. I don't think he's going to be a mainstay. I think he's going to be like a, yo, I'm blind as fuck. This guy's bad news.
Look at my club.
Flop. And then he's going to fucking go sit on a hot dog or whatever you do when you're red and yellow.
Sit on some buns, and maybe, speaking of buns, it might be Megan Thee Stallion.
It's all connected. That twerking scene was hilarious. And I love the boss because the reaction is, I don't give a shit. She just made us a whole bunch of money right now. Like, that is the right response from that boss. I enjoyed that thoroughly.
You know, and that's exactly the point. You nailed it right on the head. It's funny, and guess what, guys? It's a post-credit scene. It's a credit scene. It's not in the story. It's not in a movie. It's literally if you don't even watch the credits, guess what? Nothing happened. Nothing changed. It's a throwaway gag. It's funny. You weren't saying the same shit when she was saying Captain America, and then cuts. Everyone was praising it. And now that this happened, nothing is going to change the Marvel universe because of that credit scene. So chill.
All of the credit scenes have been very funny. Just the day in the life is like, oh, I'm glad that you're a Hulk now. Can you just do some things around the house? Like, I think that's brilliant. Of course, your parents are going to abuse the fact that you can lift everything.
Mm-hmm.
I like that tickled me. The twerking tickled me, and I'm only really expecting the real post credit scene to make me go, holy shit, this is happening now. At the end of the series, if you're expecting more things that are going to carry on, I think you're delusional a little bit. That stuff is for the very end.
Exactly. Yeah.
If we learned anything from the Earth 894 live show just before She-Hulk started, it's that She-Hulk is dummy thick. And of course we want to see her twerk. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's fucking go, America.
Yeah, don't kid yourself, those internet warriors. Oh man, I mean, if you guys saw those funny comments and stuff on, and I shouldn't say they're funny, but they are comedic in a sense. All like the comments saying like She-Hulk, what happened to this and that? Like when they're doing the little news segment, they really pulled from real comments from when they announced the show. And
100%.
Yeah, that's legit, and that's still what's being said today. So it's funny because it's social commentary about a show, and it's so meta in that I love. It's just well played, Marvel. Well played on that one.
Congratulations, you're a douchebag in 2 universes.
Exactly. So at the very while we're on the talk of like credits and everything, I was kind of like doing some research on like little Easter eggs because it's always fun to just little stuff. We kind of covered a lot of that. But the one that's very interesting in the credits, and I have the exact timestamp at 27 minutes and 42 seconds. You know how they do these little like paintings, kind of like how they do in Law and everything of just stuff that goes on. There's a little painting here that shows like She-Hulk stuck in wedged between a whole bunch of people in a crammed elevator. Now, why do I bring this up? You're going to see why in just a second. It's going to be funny, I hope. So the closing credits include an image of Jen squeezing some colleagues in the elevator. This is actually a reference to a comic book cover showing Jen in an elevator with Matt Murdock and Howard the Duck. So the reason why I bring it up, we already know Daredevil's coming to this show. We just talked about it. Brian, from last episode, his prediction was that Howard the Duck is going to show up, and I forget the rest, but he said that he thinks Howard the Duck is going to show up in this show. And the fact that I came across that saying that there's a comic book of Daredevil and Howard the Duck and She-Hulk feels way too uncanny for me to like pass by without bringing some attention to it. So
Howard the Duck.
You know what? I'm in. I've been enjoying the Howard the Duck little cameos here and there. Like as soon as like you blink and you miss it, he shows up in Endgame. Like he's a part of that fight too. So technically, he's an Avenger.
And that's the thing. So, I never knew Howard the Duck was there until we talked about this last episode. I completely did not notice him. So the theory that I just came up with right now, credit to myself, maybe he just got stuck out of the portal. It's like, well, what now? And he's just stuck on Earth. And then, of course, he probably just gets into some really weird stuff. And I guess he technically falls under the law division for superhumans or whatever. And probably
he's
a
just
lawyer.
Like in a coma. Like people thought he was dead. He's just in a coma from the battle. And then all the Ravagers go home. They don't take him with them. And now he's just stuck on Earth.
Exactly.
And then now you have your new Howard the Duck movie, by the way. About time.
That's going to be announced at D23. Oh, and one more thing.
The D.
Roll the clip.
The D stands for duck.
Oh, my God. There we go. But yeah, I think he's going to get like arrested for like public intoxication and like public urination. It'd just be funny. So you know what? I'm starting to believe it's actually possible, and I'd be damned if it happens, because what a world we live in. From 2008 to I Am Iron Man to Howard the Duck is going to be represented by potentially She-Hulk, and Daredevil is going to be showing up. It's weird.
We got She-Hulk and twerking with Megan Thee Stallion. Literally everything is possible. I read a rumor that Jason Segel was supposed to show up in She-Hulk, and that he is supposed to be Ben Grimm.
I've also heard that rumor a little bit.
Yeah, and I am interested in that because I think that could be the start of the She-Hulk and Thing, like love story. Like they had a thing. No pun intended. Yeah, no pun intended. But like out of all like the Marvel sex scenes we could get, I'm super down for a She-Hulk and Thing sex scene. I think that would be the one to get people lining up at movie theaters again.
What's green and rock hard? We'll check out She-Hulk season 2. On that note, let's clap off this episode here. That is by far probably one of the best discussions we've ever ended on. So, Louis, I don't think we really had any trivia or anything because I was just too swamped with stuff. But did we have any would you rathers to cover?
Oh, Louis was on vacation this week, so he forgot.
So that means we don't have to do it this week. So sorry, guys, but we'll do it again coming this week. So trivia. We mentioned to you, Tom, before we recorded, I believe, that at the end of every episode, we like to just throw, me being we, a random Star Wars question of trivia that I come up with, sometimes on the spot, sometimes we prepare. And I think you can tell based on the question I asked at the time, which I did. I like to ask Louis a question just to see if he can know, because he has never seen a Star Wars movie yet and still has not seen one yet. So, Tom.
Louis, before you get into this, Louis, what's it going to take for you to watch Star Wars? Is it like a bet that you lose? Is it one day?
Someone's got to come pick up my kids, take my wife somewhere, let me sit here for, I don't know, 49 fucking hours so I can sit here and watch 15 movies and 17 TV shows.
Fair, okay.
Yeah. I'm sorry I haven't fucking sat here and watched Bad Batch yet. It was so...
No, I can't. I had a hard time with the animated stuff as well, man. I'm right there with you. But like, I mean, just to get the original trilogy under your belt, what would it take?
I've seen.
So that's A New Hope, Empire, and Return of the Jedi.
But I haven't watched them. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. That's how I was with Lord of the Rings growing up.
They've been on in the same room as me, and I've looked at like, oh, space cows, dope. But I've never watched them. For what it's worth, you're laughing at space cows. Devin knows what I'm talking about. What are the space cows actually called?
I don't know, because there's actual like space cow, and then there's, I think, your version.
I've called them.
I'm hoping you're talking
cows.
about the banthas.
No, they're big ass fucking robots on that snow planet.
He's talking about AT-ATs.
Those space cows.
Yeah.
My wife calls them space cows too, because of me.
Okay.
I'm thinking of the sirens from The Last Jedi that Luke Skywalker is milking, because they were called them like space cows. So that's what I thought of.
The big.
No, I went straight to the banthas.
Cows.
Yeah, bantha's a good one too. So Louis, let's go ahead and ask you a question here.
Hit me.
I'm going to do this again, man, because this is going to be so funny. Oh, man. First introduced in Star Wars, The Phantom Menace, Episode 1. Qui-Gon Jinn identifies that Anakin Skywalker could potentially be a Jedi and is attuned to the Force because he tests for something in his blood. What is the cells within his blood that he discovers called?
I'm going to just go on a limb here. Not really. It's not really a limb. I'm going to say that you only ask me prequel questions.
No, it's because I knew it was going to come across like I do.
You only ask me Anakin questions. It's only Anakin questions.
Okay, Phantom Menace is my favorite movie in Star Wars.
Is it really?
Yeah, I love it because it was the first midnight movie I ever went to. I was 4 years old, and I fell asleep as soon as it started. Okay. And I was also living in Arizona, and I looked a little like Anakin. So it's my favorite.
Fair enough.
But I do not say that it's the best. It's just my favorite.
So I think from what I can remember, I think all Jedis have sickle cell anemia, right? I think that's what it is. He's got sickle cell blood cells.
Oh, so close.
So close. Oh, no, it wasn't sickle. It was
I'll give you a hint.
Blood.
It starts with an M.
Oh, M. He's got yeah. It's right on the
microscopic molecules.
Yeah, he's got mung in his cells.
Oh, so close. The answer we are looking for is yes. The answer we are looking for is midichlorians.
Oh, midichlorian! Damn it! That was my next guess.
No, it was just a little typo. You had it right the first time. You just spelled it wrong.
Midichlorian. Yeah, that's where the blood is like different than regular blood, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. So now that because you called me on the whole prequel question, I feel like I have to ask you something else.
Brian's question last week was just a symbol on his arm. Was that from the original 3? It was the
Boba Fett. It was like, what is a symbol? Like he's like, who wears this symbol or who?
No, it was just a symbol. He said, "What does this symbol represent?" And I said, "The Resistance," and it wasn't the Resistance. It was the
Mandalorian.
No,
Mandalorian.
No, it wasn't the Mandalorian.
No. I'm sorry. I was. Yeah, you're right. No, it was the Rebellion. You were close.
The Rebellion. Is that from the original 3?
Yeah. The Rebellion started off. Resistance is a sequel trilogy.
Fuck.
I should ask you a sequel trilogy question, actually. Hey. What is... Oh, man. Okay. What is the name of the supreme leader of the First Order who gets slain by Kylo Ren in The Last Jedi?
The name of the supreme leader of the First Reign.
First Order.
The First Order that gets slain by Kylo Ren?
Yeah.
So Kylo Ren kills this guy who's the leader. Sounds like the Darth Brooks. No?
Darth Brooks. When Garth Brooks goes to the dark side, huh? That country boy is a little dark.
Are you guys YMH fans at all? Because there's some good jokes about Garth Brooks, about him being like a killer.
What fans?
YMH, your mom's house.
Your mom's house, yeah.
No.
I know a little bit from Tom Segura, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. Devin, is it Palpatine?
You're close. Well, somewhat.
Fuck.
Actually
so
accurate.
Then it's Darth Sidious.
That's also Palpatine.
Fuck. Why does he have 2 names?
Well, we'll have to watch and find out. It's actually Supreme Leader Snoke. Snoke. But
do it.
Spoilers for episode 9 that I'm sure you're going to remember, and I'm sorry I'm spoiling for you. You find out it was actually made by Darth Sidious. So technically, you're kind of correct.
Rey.
But this ain't horseshoes, baby.
Rey is just a clone of Palpatine.
Spoilers, sort of.
Are they though? See, I know that. Why couldn't you ask me that? Why couldn't you ask me Kylo? It's Ben.
Well, see, like that's too easy. So I have to challenge you a little bit.
I might have one for you, Devin, if you don't mind. I'll give you
a for it. Shit. Hit me.
He's calling you out, bro.
So, in A New Hope, in like the later cuts of A New Hope, there's a meeting between Jabba the Hutt and Han Solo.
Mm-hmm.
In that meeting, Han Solo steps on his tail. Do you know why it was designed that way in the later cuts?
Why was it designed that way in the special editions? Why he steps on his tail?
Yeah.
Clunky.
Ooh, this is good. Now, I'm probably not going to get this right, but I want to say the reason why they do that is because originally they did shoot with a live action puppet of Jabba, and I'm assuming he stepped on the tail because they needed to keep Jabba from falling or slipping. I don't know. I actually have no idea. This is a really good one. I'm curious.
So you were kind of close on this. So in the original cut, Jabba the Hutt's just this like really big man.
Yeah.
So it was originally a deleted scene, which they took out the really big man, put Jabba the Hutt, but then Han Solo walks around him. So if it was a man, he doesn't step on anything. So they have this really clunky version of Han Solo because it kind of picks him up and then drops him. It's a weird cut. Like it's a very weird edit, but it makes it look like he steps on his tail because if you do that lap around, you clearly step on his tail because it's a giant fucking tail. And so George Lucas was like, fuck it, Han Solo would just disrespect him anyway. He would step on his tail. So they have this scene where Han Solo steps on his tail while explaining him where his money is.
I like that. I like that a lot. I need to go watch that now. I want to figure it out. I guess I got to watch Star Wars. Oh, well. That's good. See, that's a trivia I like. I love that little like behind the scenes stuff. I love that. Yeah. My favorite Star Wars trivia is always what is written in Hebrew in A New Hope on Darth Vader's chest plate right underneath his actual like control console.
Well, what?
Fuck bitches, honey.
Yes. Yeah, that's the answer, Louis. I
don't even want to know what the real answer is. I hope that's what it is.
No, you're gonna be sadly disappointed. In Hebrew, someone wrote underneath there, and it kind of is a foreshadow of the whole saga. His deeds will not be forgiven unless he merits, is what's written in Hebrew on his chest plate. But it's only in A New Hope.
It's essentially what I said.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Fuck bitches get money.
Today at the Bristol Renaissance Fair, there was a lady dressed like Princess Leia, but she looked like Jabba the Hutt. It was great.
That's intriguing.
Like she had the bikini on, but she was like,
oh, we get the picture.
Wider than she was tall. She was on the little rascal thing, getting all mad when people were getting in her way. Good time.
Oh man, well, this has been a good time, man. I gotta say, it's been an absolute joy having you on the episode, Tom. Thank you so much for hopping on.
Fun, guys. Thanks for having me.
Of course. So,
Tom, yes, Devin, you were gonna say it. Tom, tell the people where they could find you, your show, everything else.
Tell us a little about your pod.
Yeah, so the show's called Two Sides of the Story. Me and my cousin, we didn't meet until I was 25 years old, so we just used this as an opportunity to get to know each other, our different takes, our two sides of opinion, to say the least. We get into pop culture. We discuss, it's just him and I having a conversation every week. We kind of bicker around nonsense, and it's a fun time. You can find us on Two Sides of the Story Pod on Instagram. You can find the show literally anywhere you find podcasts. It's just a fun thing we do.
Awesome, man. I love it. And just confirm, is your last name Sides?
Yeah, Sides.
That is my awesome. Cousin. That is awesome. That is up there. When I wanted to confirm that, because I was like, man, that is such a great fucking name for your podcast. Like the whole perfect. And I love that story. Like, you guys met so late and you're like, hey, this is how we're bonding over it, and kind of like documenting it. That's really cool. That's very original, man.
We see where we're similar, we see where we're different, and then we can get into arguments over our different opinions. We're both Star Trek nerds as well, so we kind of bond over that, but then we differ elsewhere, and it's hilarious to find out what familial similarities that we do have based on zero growing up together.
That's awesome, man. So go ahead and check out his show. All the links to socials, podcast itself, where you can find it, it's going to be in the show notes for this week's episode. So definitely go check him out, support him. And if you really want to have Tom back, you don't need to ask, because we're going to invite him back at some point. It's going to be great.
I'm honored. Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Love to have you. And thanks for bearing with us too, because I know you said your laptop is out on repair. So thanks for joining us mobilely on this episode.
You got to do what you got to do. You get an invite to talk She-Hulk, you got to talk some She-Hulk one way or another. It's got to happen.
Exactly. We're in good company. We got them sweet between those cheeks, and that's how this whole episode is felt. So give a round of applause from your hands and your booty, because this is the end of Earth 894. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. Hope you guys enjoyed all the crazy ass theories. And remember, hashtag Wong is Kang, hashtag Wang 2024, hashtag whoops, Wang it out. Party with your Wong out. Keep it going, guys. Okay, that's the next shirt, Louis. Hashtag
Wang 2020.
No, it's gonna be a part Earth 894 Marvel podcast for you to party with your Wong out. That's gonna be the shirt. So go ahead, please give us a review, and hopefully it's good after that one, because God, this is all free comedy gold. And if you hate it, then go ahead and post on our subreddit on Reddit that does not exist. But you should join our Discord. Yeah, join our Discord. That's where the real talks is happening. You can talk shit directly to us, and we'll read it, and you'll know we'll see it. Yeah, seriously.
Out on Slack.
Yeah, if you're not on Slack, you're slacking. For real, we're not on Slack, though. Please do not look for us there, because you will never find it, and you're an idiot if you look there. Go on Discord. It's in the show notes. It's on our website, earth894podcast.com. Listen to us everywhere. Give us a review. We're almost at 20 5-star reviews so far on Spotify. Do you want to be the person who puts it at 4.9 at 20 reviews? Do it. If you want to put us at 5 at 20, do it. If you want to put us at no stars, don't do it. What you should do is give us a review. Help us out. Give us a follow. And that is all I'm going to keep plugging because it's time for me to unplug like the rest of these gentlemen here and go to freaking bed and dream of Megan Thee Stallion and She-Hulk. Just clap, clap, clap away. You know when you want to, when you can't sleep at night, you want to count sheep, you want to count the space cows.
Just count twerks.
Count twerks. 1, 2, 3, 4, and hopefully that's no more. So we are done officially. This is Earth 894. Go check out Two Sides of the Story. Thanks again so much, Tom. Thank you guys. Thank you, Louis. And I am done.
Tom, do you speak French?
Oui, monsieur, je parle français.
Oh, can you sign us off in French?
Ooh. What would you like me to say in French?
I don't care. Something.
Hey, merci d'attendre Planète Terre 894 avec Louis et Devin. Merci beaucoup.
Oh, bye. Dexter! Omelette du fromage.
Yeah, so you get Wong Kang.
Wang.
Yeah.
Wang.